Stadium in Hamilton as we set for the beginning of a brand new IBL season. It's Hamilton Cardinals baseball on Cable 14. Reed Duthie, Neil Srivastava, back together again. Neil, it's great to see you.
It's great to be here. Great to be back at the ballpark and in front of 1,700 new friends out here with all the school day kids and having a lot of fun here.
So back-to-back days, we're going to go school day games. Today is the Catholic School Board. Tomorrow is the Public School Board, and they separate them because to fit all of the kids who want to come see a baseball game, you got to do it twice.
You got to do it twice. You liked it so much, you got to do it twice.
What we like seeing is the new crop of Cardinals, and Ramon Sanchez is going to take the hill for the first time as the Cardinals take on the London Majors, and this is their first real home test in the preseason.
Exactly, and of course they had the exhibition game down in London on Friday. Didn't go so hot, but they got some at-bats, got some reps and everything else in here, and this is the first real test in front of their home crowd here and getting used to the friendly confines at Bernie Arbor Stadium.
Now you'll know some familiar faces back into the lineup. Of course, Tyler Duncan returns in center. Tanner Rempel returns over at first base. Raquel Bendicastro, who arrived late last season and really made an impression back at shortstop. But, Neil, then it starts to look a little different after that.
It's very different.
This Cardinals team, Eric Spearin, what a job he and the scouting crew did to put this team together. And I know today we're going to see Nico Caqueros at third base, but that's a position that's likely going to be occupied by the conductor once we get
definitely will be.
To the games that count.
He's unfortunately at work today because, of course, like most of us, he's got a day job.
Well, the trains have to run on time, right?
Exactly. They definitely got to. So, we'll have to wait to get the Mama Salazzo pasta sauce later on.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we need to be in on that.
Yeah.
London will lead off with center fielder Toby Simmons coming up, and as you mentioned before the game started, Neil, with those jerseys, we'll do our best on the numbers. London running a very light bench today, so that will work in our favor in that sense.
That it will, and of course we got time called already. I guess we're just waiting to get the camera crew off the field here. Umpires just taking safety first here.
Jonathan Friedman, Cable 14's general manager, being told to vacate the playing surface.
Politely.
And Sanchez to deal for the first time. And he will throw a fastball that can touch 95.
Fastball, curveball, and a changeup that comes in there. So it's going to be, if it's in the zone, it's going to be a quick one.
It's a reworked pitching staff, Neil, and when you look at the names involved in it, it could be something really special for this year's Cardinals as Sanchez works ahead to 0-2. Obviously, the big name was Fernando Rodney.
Yeah.
But the names that were added around him, spectacular.
Oh, no, exactly. I remember the day that the Rodney news broke. Eric texted me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I usually don't get text messages that early unless something's busted at work, and I was just like, okay, what's going on? Like, I look at the half, and he's like, you're going to want to clear your schedule around 9 o'clock this morning. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm not going to tell you. Not telling you.
Yeah, I got word that keep an eye on our socials. Something exciting is happening, and when Eric says that,
yeah,
you know it's going to be good.
Count now 2-2 on Simmons. Of course, Simmons was a former Tampa Bay Rays farmhand. Very good friends with Jazz Chisholm.
Ah.
Yes.
Now of the New York Yankees. Giulio Vittini doing the catching for the Cardinals today. He is the apprentice, shall we say, to Luis Bernardo.
That he is. That one's fouled away, and the count will remain 2-2.
It's something that we've seen the last couple of years, Neil, overall in the league. The names that are arriving, the backgrounds, there is a real boost in talent in the IBL. The league is taking massive strides forward year over year.
No question it is. No question it is.
And what certainly doesn't hurt is a team like the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers arriving last year and being competitive as an expansion team as Sanchez with the strikeout right away, and he is fired up.
Definitely is.
Stepping up to the plate, this shortstop, number 6, Francisco Fajardo.
Fajardo last, of course, on Friday had a home run. Pair of hits in Sunday's contest against Kitchener as well. Making a name for himself, the former Blue Jay. former Vancouver Canadian.
Well traveled.
That he is.
Sanchez looks in and delivers. Swinging strike one, and you can see the trouble that Ramon Sanchez is going to be for hitters around the league. If he has this kind of control on his fastball, that's going to be dangerous.
It definitely will be.
Sanchez winds and delivers. That's on the ground. Tanner Rempel will scoop it. He's got it to the bag, 2 away.
3 unassisted goes to put it if you're scoring at home. Haven't said that in quite a while.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher.
And Tanner Rempel, who looks like he ought to be playing linebacker for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, he clearly hit the gym in the offseason. He looks tremendous.
He definitely did.
He was already a power hitter beforehand.
And now he's got the body to go with it.
Goodness. And of course, last year we saw him make some of the most incredible plays over at first base.
That one's in there for a called strike. Count is 0-1 on DeOlio, who homered in Friday's contest as well.
We have seen Edward DeOlio break the hearts of Cardinals fans a few times in the last couple seasons.
One's in the dirt, even count at 1-1.
It always seems, Neil, in games with London that DeOlio happens to come up to the plate with runners in scoring position in a big moment and then delivers.
That he does.
A clutch hitting catcher. Which at a position where you want to prioritize defense first.
Yep.
If you get a catcher that can send the ball out of any part of the park.
Yep. There's not many in the intercounty that can do that, of course. Him and Robert Mullen for sure. Oh,
Whoa.
That one just got inside and got Eduardo off the helmet. Think he's all right here, hopefully, but we're just going to...
Yeah, Eduardo's going to take a minute here as that curveball got way away from Ramon Sanchez. And DeOlio is just checking to make sure and
getting some water or something.
Yeah, and that's one of those spots where you take all the time you need. He'll head down to first base on the hit by pitch. Sanchez just lost that coming out of his hand as he tried to turn that curve over. It didn't curve, Neil. It just stayed out there.
Yep. DeOlio tried to get out of the way of it. Thankfully, got him on the helmet, not in the face anywhere. But still a scary moment.
But it's like taking a puck off the mask. And, you know, I've talked to having goaltenders in my family and being around the Bulldogs, and you ask them, what's that feel like? Well, it's like hearing a phone that is only audible to you.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Nope. The Swiss Army knife, Brad Verhoeven now, who's playing first base today, will be the batter in the 4th spot.
Is there anywhere on the field he can't play? Sanchez's delivery will slide to the backstop, and up to second goes DeOlio.
I don't know. The only place I don't think I've seen Brad is on the pitcher's mound. But, you know, he'll probably stand and correct me. He'll watch this back and send the text message through Matt or something. I pitched too, just so you know.
You got to have those guys that I, of course, being a Red Sox fan, fondly remember Brock Holt. And
yep.
I think he literally did everything other than pitch and catch.
Well, so I want to keep your name in the lineup. As he fouls that one away, and the count is 1-1. DeOlio at second base with 2 away on the wild pitch. Umpire asking for some more baseballs.
Yeah, there was some communication going on over to the Cardinals dugout there. Yep, that's exactly what it was, Neil. Sanchez will set. That's the peek back to DeOlio. Delivers and caught for Verhoeven running to the inside. And it's back-to-back hit by pitch.
He's asking for a new baseball out here too, but yeah, it's just, I don't think that's intentional. I think the curveball is just He's having problems with he's looking at his fingers, too. I wonder if he's got a blister or something going on, too.
Luis Bernardo's going to come out to the hill and look to calm down his pitcher. Now that of course is the danger, Neil, when you got a pitcher like Sanchez who throws with such intense speed.
Yep.
If you get into a spot where you're dinging batters, people are going to get a little bit upset about it.
Well, exactly. It just reminds me a lot of when Alek Manoah came up with the Blue Jays and everything else, and then everybody was just worried he was so wild.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to control that thing.
Champ Garner, the center fielder, will step in. And Sanchez now in a little bit of trouble. As Garner sends that one a mile, but foul.
Early at second base, and Verhoeven at first, courtesy of hit by pitches, and 2 away now. And Champ Gardner behind in an 0-1 count.
Sanchez delivers outside. Vittini, nice job to dive out and keep the runners from advancing. Well, this is what the preseason is for. Get an opportunity to get in live action and get it sorted out. It's clear Sanchez has the stuff. As he'll deliver running inside, and Garner fouls that away 1-2. It's one of those things you got to iron out if you're Ramon Sanchez. You start off with a strikeout, a ground out to first base, and then it's back-to-back hit by pitches, a couple of free base runners.
Yeah. In this situation with 2 away, you just got to focus on the batter, get the ground ball out, get Garner to strike himself out here somehow.
And we should mention today as well, runs early in the game at a premium, 7 innings, not 9 for the preseason games.
Yep.
That's the curve that Sanchez was looking for, but he can't tempt Garner to bite.
It was a little too far inside, just missed his own.
Garner with the long look, and he'll go down swinging as Sanchez cleans it up. Pair of swinging strikeouts in the first inning, and the Cardinals will have the bats in their hands for the first time.
The score is 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning.
All right, my friends, we're gonna have to be way louder than that. I said, how do we do it? Oh, that energy is fantastic. Bernie,
How do you
let's make some
change the
noise.
inning? Just inning score?
All right, my friends, let me hear it go, Bart, go! Go, Bart, go! Go, Bart, go!
Inning and then probably hit home, I guess, or try, or go up, or no?
One more time! Go, Bart, go! Keep it up, my friends!
Nice and delayed for the bottom half.
Yeah. Have to find you the book.
It's coming back to it. Just like right on the bike.
Bottom of the first on the way. The Hamilton Cardinals, bats in their hands at home for the first time. And Neil, it's an impressive looking lineup. Raquelvin de Castro will lead off. They've got power, they've got speed, they got the ability to put the ball in play. They got a little bit of everything in this lineup. And this isn't even everybody.
Well, it's not everybody. As you know, you're missing that guy Salazzo and some other things too that are going to come through here and definitely shape this lineup a little differently than the last couple of years. That's for sure.
But Kelvin DeCastro is going to be such a key because he's going to be the table setter.
Yep.
If he can get on base with the likes of Tyler Duncan behind him, Jonathan Salazzo stepping in, Vittini, Williams, Pena, Rempel, there's a lot of power in this lineup that if they get base runners, they're going to be able to cash them.
Yes.
We've seen that be a problem before in getting those runners on in front of Duncan. DeCastro with a little chopper. He's got the speed to be able to beat this out if he can get there. Just not quite in time. One away.
The foot race became a battle of attrition down the line there, and Castro unable to leg it out in time. One away now.
Fielder number 5.
As Colby Ring gets the assist on the put out, the former Cardinal on the hill for the majors this afternoon. 0-3 record in 2024. 20 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 24 walks, a .990 ERA last year. It was just the walks came back to haunt him a lot.
It was clearly not the Colby Ring that we have become so accustomed to. And whether there was a nagging injury bothering him or it just felt me like he didn't get out to a strong start to the season,
Nope.
and it just never came back around for him.
Yeah.
Chance to regroup with London as Duncan will put this on the ground a second. Scooped and fired on to first. 2 away.
Tristan Osika fields that one on the 4-3 put out. 2 away now for Julie Vittini, the catcher.
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher, number 11, Julie Vittini.
And Tristan Osika, as he moved laterally to get that ball, there's something not quite right, Neil. It looked like
not
he
good.
came up, I don't know if it hamstring or groin.
Something's just, he's okay. He's waving him off. It's like, that, we're good. Could also be all the rainfall we took and everything else. He might have just slipped a little bit on the grass and lost his footing.
Yeah, very well could be. Ring a wind and delivered to Vittini, and that one comes in high. You know, those first 2 outs for Ring, that's where we saw him have a lot of success with the Cardinals when he could get ground balls induced.
Yep.
Trying to work the outside, and that's going to run the count to 2-0. Ring will wind and deliver. Vittini fouls that off in behind.
And a gaggle of kids going after that foul ball.
That's not surprising.
No, not at all.
Everybody wants a souvenir. As that one on the ground. 3-1 to Vittini. Josh Williams, the DH, was set to be behind him, but it's Andrew Johnston on deck.
Maybe Williams figured the hamstring was Balker or something, or the. And it looks like we've already got a substitution.
Vittini will head on to first base on the walk.
First base runner is aboard for the Cardinals now, and like you mentioned, Andrew Johnston, the designated here now.
Andrew Johnston.
Now, very kindly, Andrew Johnston, I almost made eye contact with him down at the on-deck circle, and he turned around and showed me the number.
Yep.
As I was saying, Josh Williams.
Yep. Hey, just a heads up, I'm in the game now.
Are they listening to us down there?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That could be a problem.
I'm just waiting for him to get my number, and that's going to be it. I'll be a nonstop stream of text messages after a ball game from now on.
Ring winds and delivers, and over the plate. 1-1. We saw Andrew Johnston show off some power a couple times last season, Neil. This is a young man that is developing really well for the Cardinals.
Yeah, he is. He's at the University of Guelph, so I get to see him often during the fall season as far as the OUA season goes as well. So lots of fun there.
Fatini was on the run, and that one going to be fouled away. Johnston's the kind of guy that could be a part of the Cardinals for a long, long time.
And he could be. Nico Katakos is on deck as well, should Johnson continue this inning.
Speaking of guys who had pretty impressive numbers at the collegiate level, Kakatos. As Johnston rips that one foul. Staying alive against Colby Ring.
Just a reminder for fans, baseball and other objects may leave the playing field at high rates of speed. Always keep your eye on the action.
Ring with the long look into Diolio. Oh, beautiful off speed from Colby Ring. We've seen that before. Got Johnston out in front of it. And that will close the first inning of play. No score on the board. We'll return with the top of the second on Hamilton Cardinals baseball on Cable 14.
One of the other big special shout out to all the schools in attendance today. If you hear your school, get loud. Ecole Confederation. St. David. St. Marguerite de Youville. St. Kateri Tekakwitha. St. Anthony Daniel. St. James the Apostle Catholic. Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And St. Thomas the Apostle. Thank you for spending your day with us.
Johnson just jumped out of the on deck, off the batter's box, and now behind the plate to catch Sanchez's warm-ups here while Vittini gets his equipment back on.
That's guts.
He's out there without a mask on. I'm surprised the umpire let him go out there. And a helmet.
Oh, he's all right. He's got the sport goggles.
Okay. Still. I don't think I want to see a 90. Yeah, catchers have dealt differently, that's for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't be jumping back there to catch a 95-mile-an-hour fastball with a proper equipment on. I only got one face. It might not be pretty as it is, but still, geez, it's my one face.
I was going to say, I'm not sure they could do a whole lot of damage here, but,
No.
you know, if I was back there, maybe the teeth, you know.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, top of two.
Tristan Osika will lead things off.
As Julie Vittini returns in full equipment behind the plate.
Yep.
There certainly is a flavor of former Cardinals to the majors lineup.
There is, yeah. Of course, Josh Niles is still at school, but he was the other member of the Cardinals that got traded to London.
Number 29, Tristan Osika.
And I will continue to say that Josh Niles has one of the sweetest swings in baseball. I mean, it is just smooth.
He's having a good second half as a red shirt for Canisius College in his senior year.
Good for him. Sanchez lines and delivers to open up to Osika. Strike on the inside portion of the plate.
Osika, another former Cardinal in the lineup now. Again, his second year with the majors.
We'll see if Sanchez can keep the control in this second inning.
Still among my favorites as far as his post-game interviews last year when he was, very blunt as far as going 0 for 3 and then he hit the home run. And he's like, I thought I sucked. And they got the home run. The difference in the ball game.
Sanchez gets him swinging. Ball on the ground. Vittini up to first. Rempel's got it. And one away.
Good to see Sanchez was able to make the adjustments between innings and relax a little bit out there.
Stepping up to the plate, designated hitter number 21.
Get Osika on 4 pitches. K2-3 will be the official scoring on that one. Sanchez's third strikeout of the contest.
Designated hitter Ricardo DeLugo steps in. Ooh, Vittini tried to buy him one there. That was quick glove from Julie Vittini behind the plate, but not quite enough.
Not quite enough. No, the umpire was like, I'm not buying that one.
Well, you can see why the Cardinals like Julie Vittini so much, though. His pitch framing is spectacular.
DeLugo, pretty much a pitcher in his normal stance and everything else. Of course, like the major said, it's school day and everything else. Not a lot of guys can get time off work. DeLugo available, so he's in the DH spot for the second game in a row.
It is a working man's league. And sometimes schedules have to be maneuvered around, and players have got to try to find a way to get here, and it's not always easy.
And it is not.
And Sanchez will wind and deliver. That one softly tapped back towards the mound. Sanchez lost his footing, and that one is going to be an infield single for DeLugo.
Yep, Ricardo DeLugo gets another infield single. Too bad they don't count, because that would be 2 in the year for him so far.
Stepping up to the plate, right fielder number 95, Charlie Bowman.
But the grass is a little thicker right now because you don't want to cut it down too much when it's just starting to spring back in the action here. So, plus all the rainfall we had, so definitely made for a slick surface here.
There's been a lot of rain. Looking for a bunt is Charlie Bowman. Majors playing a little small ball perhaps in the second inning.
Well, it's definitely in Rupes Trinidad's playbook for sure. They're going to run any way they can here.
Well, again, 7 innings. Try to get on as quick as you can. Now, Neil, you're far more the scoring expert than I.
Yep.
Nobody would charge
No.
Sanchez with an error.
No, not that situation,
No.
especially with. There's no way if he gets up and makes the play, he's got a chance maybe, but even then, you never know.
It was kind of perfect ball placement
Yep.
for what DeLugo did. It wasn't intentional, but
Just off the end of the bat, and it just died on him, unfortunately.
ball chopped back to Sanchez. He's going to go to second for one. On to first, double play, and oh no. Coming up lame was Charlie Bowman.
That looks like a Charlie horse or a cramp for sure, because he's trying to work his way out of it now.
One hit that half inning for the Majors. We are still tied up at 0, heading to the bottom of the second.
Oh, Bowman walking it off back towards the London dugout. Hopefully he's okay to continue. But
All right, my friends.
Bowman into the 1-4-3 double play, Neil, and Cardinals will get the bats in their hands again.
Yep.
We will return on cable 14, bottom of the second.
Couldn't tell you. Listen, listen, you're the London line part. I gave it a
There.
one of these guys was over at second. Josikas said, yeah. Josikas had one down and Josh second. I can't tell.
Bowman's there.
This guy can
Now at the plate, the third baseman, number 10, Nico Cacados.
Nico Cacados to open up the bottom of 2 as we try to do some house cleaning as Tristan Osika has come out of the game. I think it's Land wearing 36 over at second base.
Jared Lund.
Lund, pardon me.
Yeah.
Or, no, I might be wrong. It might be Adrian Harrison that's moved from third to second. Because that is a different third baseman.
That it is.
That's Brad Verhoeven who's moved across.
Yep.
All right, we're getting there.
I think, is it Wasika at first then, and then just moves everybody else around, and Bowman's?
Okay, Osika has stayed in the ballgame, so Lund and Henry are still on the bench. Osika is now at first. That's moved Harrison from third to second, and Verhoeven's gone from first to third. Bowman stayed in right field as Takedos sends this one high into the air. And oh, it's in and out of the glove. Sliding into second is Takedos. Champ Garner, a little bit too...
overconfident, maybe?
Yeah.
Like he was just kind of nonchalantly out there with the glove. Okay, I'm going to put the glove out, and then suddenly it squirted right out.
Oh, Garner's going to want that one back.
In a hurry here.
Stepping up to the plate, the right fielder, number 12, Yoki Pena.
Yoki Pena will bat with Catalicos at second base, courtesy of the E8 on the drop fly ball. Cardinals have got a leadoff man standing at second base now.
Boy, you might want to write that one down. You're not going to see Champ Garner make that mistake. Maybe again this season.
Well, he'll be definitely two-handing those balls from now on, that's for sure. Like he just thought it was a can of corn, so he went after it and approached it like that, and then it just...
Yeah, he just had his glove out instead of getting under it,
Yep.
and
out it went.
the Cardinals put a charge into the ball. As Ring winds and delivers, and that one running inside.
Sorry, that's Toby Simmons in center field, actually. That's Simmons in center, and Gardner's in left.
Pardon me, I had them backwards.
No worries. Might have been my handwriting earlier. I'll take fault for that.
Ball running inside, and Yoki Pena slides out of the way. Well, look, I like the aesthetic of the London jerseys, but trying to pick out the numbers on the camo is...
That was a big problem last year. They're only wearing these ones for the preseason. They do have a new military set being unveiled later. I hope Matt's not going to yell at me for letting that cat out of the bag too much, but they do have another set coming later.
Just white numbers would be
Oh,
fantastic.
trust me, it's been taken care of.
Oh, beautiful.
Stepping up to the plate, the first baseman, number 44.
Pena's board on the walk.
Rempel.
As Colby Rang is struggling here in the second inning. And now the rather buff-looking Tanner Rempel will come up to the plate.
I mean, that doesn't look like the same guy.
No, it didn't. Like even when I was talking to Tyler Duncan before in batting practice, and then he pops up and like, oh my goodness, like had to do a double take.
Rempel, one of the best personalities in sports.
Really excited to be back, that's for sure. He was just really pumped when he was taking his round at batting practice and back on the field. Looking forward to a great season.
He needs a podcast or something. We need more Tanner Rempel.
Well, maybe I'll start putting the bug in his ear or something. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to. That personality needs to be shared. That is a special kind of guy. Anytime you're around the ballpark, he makes you excited to be in it. And he'll do that if it's raining, if it's freezing, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
As Ring winds and delivers, and Rempel takes a look at a strike.
2-1 now the count. Nobody away still here in the Cardinals' second inning in a scoreless game.
Yeah, Rempel playing with a little bit of house money here. Ahead 2-0 with 2 on. Able to be patient. Was able to look at that strike. Ring delivers, jammed him up, and that one may be out behind the grandstands. Incoming. There it is.
Hang time. There it goes. I was like, where's the kaboom?
Oh, great. Now we're in a Looney Tunes episode.
Yep.
Or what was the other one? Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Moose and Squirrel, yes. Rempel takes a good hack on that one, and he'll go down on strikes for the first out of the inning.
Colby Ring knows his former teammates well.
Stepping up to the plate, the second baseman, number 6, Jaden Brown.
Jaden Brown will step in.
Brown, the former draft pick of the Washington Nationals in 2019. When COVID hit, he opted for school instead and was part of Team Canada's junior program as well.
Yeah, quite the resume for Brown to step into this Cardinals group as Ring misses on the outside. Yeah, I always like the Moose and Squirrel jokes.
And the fearless leader.
Yep. Boris and Natasha.
Yep.
I roll bomb into room with Moose and Squirrel. And who gets blown up? Me.
Yep. Must be another fine Acme product. Or wrong branding.
Brown takes a look at that one. Oh, great.
It's good to be back.
We've been back together for 2 innings. We're already off.
Yep. If you had 2 innings in the pool, congratulations, you're $5 richer.
Oh, good Lord. That's Ringel looking at Brown.
It's been too long.
Swinging strike there from Brown.
And the poor people at home are going, what the heck are these guys talking about?
It's just a good thing we don't have Troy here, otherwise we'd really be off.
Oh, we'd be done.
Yeah. Ring will have to look in. And Brown puts a charge in it at the right field. Off the wall. Takedos charging hard around third. One will score. It's an RBI double for Jaden Brown.
Brown delivers one off the fence for the Cardinals' first run here at home, and can't say the kids are not into this one, that's for sure.
They're fired up.
Number 97, Brendan Daly.
The 9-batter, Brendan Daly, in his 3rd season with the Cardinals. Hamilton Junior product. It's been great to watch him grow as a young man here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Neil, this is a young man who you can certainly say has put in the work.
Definitely has.
Last season, he really began to earn himself a bigger opportunity with this Cardinals team. Some clutch hits right around the midway point to the end of the season. Daly really stepped forward. I can remember a couple of Friday nights he put a charge into the crowd. Ring delivers, and there's a thought about that one.
Yep. Majors infield in, trying to knock it down, keep the runners at bay here, and just keep the status quo as far as the 1-0 deficit.
Ring, that's a real nice pitch right at the knees on the outside portion. 1-2. Ring looking to work himself out of the trouble. Daly just got enough of that to stay alive. You take a look at where Jaden Brown is. Anything out of the infield, and Brown's coming home, Neil. He's
Easily.
already...
He's almost even with the shortstop when he comes across here in the windup.
He's nearing halfway to third as Daly sends this one way up and foul, and the battle continues.
And a souvenir down the line here.
I mean, there's nobody even attempting to keep Brown close to the bag.
Well,
He's going to be 30 feet by the time Daly makes contact with the ball.
Texas Green, he's coming home for sure.
That one runs inside. 2-2. Luis Bernardo went over to give some instructions to Yolki Pena, and Daly. They'll say he went around on it. Diolio's got to pop up and deliver to first, and they'll get him. And Daly's saying, I wasn't even close.
I don't think he's trying to plead his case. I didn't go around. It wasn't on contact or anything. So.
I didn't think he went around either, Neil. I think that one was a bit of a harsh call.
Stepping up to the plate, the shortstop, number 1, Kelvin Castro.
They'll go on the score sheet as a K2-3. Daly's the second out of the inning. Kelvin Castro, who's for one of the contests, grounded on a 1-3 to start the ball game, will be the batter now with 2 away.
Ring with a long look into DeCastro, ran it inside a little bit too far. 1-0. So Luis Bernardo having a quick chat with Yolki Pena. I'm not sure what he said other than if he makes contact, you run.
Pretty much.
2-0 the count.
Maybe just a reminder as well, hey, if it goes to the backstop, it have the tendency to bounce right back at the catcher, so be careful.
That is true. It is a deep backstop, but if it's got any pace on it, it will come straight back. DeCastro swinging through that off-speed offer. 2-1 the count. Ring 2 strikes away from getting himself out of danger. Cardinals have counted 1 in the inning. 3-1. And now Ring is in a little bit of danger of loading him up for Tyler Duncan.
Not the guy you want coming up with the bases loaded, that's for sure.
No. And I believe that's exactly what has happened as DeCastro takes that ball high. He'll walk down to first, and now walking up the plate with them all set. The 2023 MVP,
Tyler Duncan.
Yeah, this is a bit of nightmare fuel if you're Colby Ring.
Well, when Duncan was in the cage and everything else, I was asking him how many Sour Patch Kids and everything else he had today, and he's like, he forgot his Sour Patch Kids, forgot his sunglasses. He was just like, so this mean you're going to hit a grand slam today? Just putting that out there.
Neil perhaps seeing into the future.
Don't count on it. If I'm doing that sort of thing, I really should be playing Vegas odds or something and making some money off it.
First pitch is a strike. He hits it out. I want lottery numbers.
Yeah. Don't worry. We're splitting it 3 ways up here.
All right.
We got to cut Troy in anyways because it's only fair.
We'll be haunted if not.
Yeah.
Ball on the ground. 1-1 the count. Yeah, I can only imagine the text I'd get if we didn't.
I think it'd be a lengthy one, and it wouldn't be polite.
Well, actually, you know what? He knows where I live, so that's...
Yeah, that's not good.
1-1 to Duncan with the bases loaded. The look in from Ring.
Duncan thought about it and took that one inside for a called strike.
Called strike on the inside edge. I wasn't sure, Neil, that caught the black, but
I think the umpire maybe just got fooled a little bit more by the bat and called it on the swing approach, or the thought of it.
Julie Vittini is on deck if Tyler Duncan advances this inning.
Duncan grounded out 4-3 in the first.
Count moving to 2-2. The delivery and Duncan. Whoa, Luis Bernardo. He had to get out of the way like a ninja.
Once again,
And he
playing
did.
baseball's league with playing field at high rates of speed. Always keep your eye on the action.
Tyler Duncan got every bit of that, just shot it foul, and Luis Bernardo did a 360 faster than I've ever seen. Delivery high to Duncan. That's going to make the count full. And it doesn't get a whole lot easier after Duncan, Neil, because it's Julie Vittini stepping in.
Yep. And Andrew Johnston, if Vittini can do something as well.
36 pitch and
Off and running of the base runners as Duncan sends it up the middle. Can he beat it up the first? He does. Yoki Pena scores RBI single for Tyler Duncan.
Duncan with him, went up the middle there and almost got a CNI single, but a great play by Jared Lund at second base to keep that one in front of him and deny more runners from coming home. Base is still loaded now, and 2-0 Cardinal lead here.
Catcher number 11.
Pretty sure it's still Adrian Harrison at second. I think that's how they did the maneuvering.
Yeah, you're right. It's one. I believe that's one down the bullpen. My apologies.
Vittini high into the air. I don't think it's going to have the distance. Underneath it is Simmons, and he'll make no mistake on that one. Cardinals score 2 in the inning, and Neil, they take a 2-0 lead through 2.
2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error with 3 runners left on base. The score is 2-0 for your Cardinals as we head to the top of the
Sanchez looks like he's going back out there for inning number 3 here.
And as Emily gets set to have some madness down at field level, we'll step aside with the Cardinals up 2 on Cable 14. Set to go for the top of the 3rd inning. The London Majors will get the bats back as we have conversations up in the booth about things that we won't know for another week and a half or so.
That's what we do.
And perhaps longer, depending on when certain members of teams arrive back in.
Oh, exactly. That's the joys of being a collegiate ball player and everything else. If your team does well, you don't get back to home till middle June, July, depending on what's going on.
Sanchez finishes up his warm-up deliveries. And stepping in is going to be the second baseman, Adrian Harrison.
Stepping up to the plate, second baseman number 34, Adrian Harrison.
So I think we've sorted that out, that all of the majors stayed in the game. They just maneuvered how they were set. Verhoeven went to 3rd.
Yeah.
Osika went to 1st, and Harrison went to 2nd. And Harrison's going to rocket that foul.
Harrison, of course, attends St. Clair College. Giving him an opportunity to show what he can do up here. While some other guys are still down south.
Just caught the outside edge there, did Sanchez. And, boy, Sanchez is just firing. Had to even out the rough patches of the 1st inning as he gets The swing from Harrison. Bettini pops up. Rempel's got it at first. And I believe, Neil, that's the 4th strikeout of the game already for Sanchez.
That would be correct.
Through 2 1/3.
Stepping up to the plate, center fielder
If he
number
can keep
24.
the control down, he's going to be very, very effective in this league.
There's just not a lot of guys where you're going to see 95
Not in this league, no.
consistently. He is going to be fun to watch as Toby Simmons steps in.
Off the top of my head, maybe about 5 or 6 guys that hit 95 consistently. There's one guy in Welland, we don't want to see.
Oh, boy.
He's very famous about shutting doors, but yeah, he's definitely got the velocity behind it.
I think he's broken a few hinges slamming them.
Yep.
Mr. Mendez. And when Mr. Mendez steps into a game,
Yep.
that's a problem.
That's usually a problem for a lot of guys, yeah.
And if you're the Cardinals, this is the season when you look at this lineup and you're going after the Wellands, you're going after the Berries, you're trying to chase down a championship here. Your best defense against Davey Mendez is to just keep him out of the ballgame.
Oh, exactly. We'll have the scorer in a position where he's not going to be coming into the ballgame.
But you look at the depth, Neil, of the Cardinals, the Jackfish, the Baycats.
Yep.
Those are going to be fun games.
And you can't discount the Guelph Royals. They get to the finals
Right.
last year.
Another team that it felt like they consistently got better as the season
Yep,
went along.
they did.
3-2 the count to Simmons. Struck out in his first at bat. Sanchez will wind and deliver, and he strikes out in his second at bat. 5th strikeout of the game, and that was heat.
That thing was moving fast.
Stepping up to the plate, shortstop
Well,
number 6, Francisco Gallardo.
So far, it's a small sample size, Neil, but through 2 2/3, Ramon Sanchez is very impressive.
Very impressive so far, that's for sure. Maybe it was just a case of the nerves in the first inning, too.
There was a miscommunication there. Francisco Gallardo was not even set for that pitch as
Nope.
Sanchez threw it.
Sometimes the pitcher gets on his own pace here, too, so. Maybe just tuned out the batter there, too, because it's just like, oh, there's actually a batter in here.
We don't have the pitch clock, but it's not going to be an issue for Sanchez.
No.
Just as I say that, he takes his longest look into the ball game.
I swear they hear us.
Good Lord.
I'm going to show that Reed guy.
Oh, am I moving too fast for you? No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I'll just slow it right down here.
Sanchez delivers, running inside. And that is going to draw the walk for Francisco Gallardo.
Fajardo aboard now with 2 away, and Eduardo D'Olio coming to the plate. And Bernardo's going to have a conversation again here with his pitcher.
Yeah, that at bat, Neil, after the strikeout of Simmons, it felt like Sanchez threw that early one,
Yep.
and he just didn't get back into his rhythm. And almost like it took him out of the pace he was pitching.
Yep. Maybe that was a reminder from Bernardo. Hey, you gotta wait for the batter to be ready here in this league. You know, we don't have the clock and everything else. You still gotta wait for them to be ready.
D'Olio step in. One aboard with 2 away. Bettini pops up to try to get him at second. Not in time as Gallardo will have the stolen base.
Gallardo definitely likes to run. We've seen that so far in all 3 contests the majors have played in exhibition play. Majors aren't afraid to be aggressive against any catcher.
Bettini had that on target. I just don't think he got the release that he wanted.
He kind of skipped out and hit the grass a little bit and slowed down.
If he had a little bit more pace on that one, the placement was perfect. He led the glove of Brown right out to the runner. Something that his catching mentor, Luis Bernardo, was pretty good at. Oh,
Sanchez going to get charged the block here.
Yep. Fajardo baited him into it.
Yeah, well, it's just how he came off the mound there. Like he looked like he was going to a set position and then he just jumped off. And it's like, no, you can't do that in this league. Can't do that in any league, really.
No, that's going to get called anywhere. He almost got caught between two thoughts of trying to turn and check the runner. Gets DiOlio swinging at that one.
I would have just been better off stepping off and going off the back of the mound or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Sanchez will deliver 1-2. DiOlio fouls it back.
I don't think it was more in on the hands there. DiOlio just had to get a piece of it to stay alive now. With 2 away.
Fajardo just trying to get the eyes of Sanchez as well. Did DiOlio go around? He did.
3 punch-outs in the inning.
6 in the ball game now for Ramon Sanchez, and Neely's putting on quite the performance.
That he did. That he did.
Cardinals 2-0 lead. We'll head to the bottom of 3 right after this. Cable 14.
Cardinals as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
It is time for my favorite activity. Do I have some Swifties at 30 Well, you are lucky that I am the biggest Swiftie here, so get it together. Let me hear ya! Shake it up! Shake it up!
Is that 48? Is that who it is?
That's Julian Henry. Jonathan Henry, sorry.
Jonathan Henry pitching.
What's next?
Bottom of 3. Stepping in, the Hamilton Cardinals, bats in the hands, and a new pitcher, Neil. Jonathan Henry steps in to relieve Colby Ring.
Jonathan Henry in his 2nd year with the majors. Looking to improve on last year's up and down issues last year. So he completes his warm-ups here and looks to take the baseball here for the majors in the 3rd inning.
And it appears that we may have some action starting out in the pen for the Cardinals as well.
Yep, Casey Booger Howard getting loose out there, so is Caleb Sorowski.
As Andrew Johnston will step in to open the bottom of 3. Johnston DHing in place of Josh Williams this afternoon, or this morning. Morning, afternoon, what are we now?
I think we're in the afternoon. We're close enough.
I got 11:59, so technically morning. As Johnston will look at that one on the way in. Now it's noon, now it's afternoon.
Now it's afternoon, now we're good. Still very early in the West.
Yeah, I wonder if Tyler Duncan and Tanner Rempel have friends up watching this currently, or if they're
having breakfast with us, little tea and crumpets or whatever they want to call it. What do they have out west? Do they have like eggs and stuff out there? They have all these fancy things out there.
I got to get out there. I've only been east. I've been out to the Maritimes. I haven't been west. I got to go west.
I've never been west myself either, so yeah, we have to. It's on the bucket list one of these years.
Got to get out to the Rockies. As Henry, whoa! Like we saw earlier on in the ball game from Sanchez, a little bit of loss on the control of the curveball. Johnston had to slide out of the way, count is full. You can tell it's afternoon. You can smell the hot dogs.
Yep. Well, you can definitely get the good smell of them coming through. The Deningers are definitely fired up.
What a score that was for the Cardinals. Get Deningers on board. Are you kidding me? You got Little Caesars Pizza and you got Deningers hot dogs? Come on.
All right, we got to wait for a while for lunch here, so come on. You're not helping.
Sorry. All right. Walk to Andrew Johnston to open up the bottom of 3.
We're working. We can't eat and eat. Well, I guess we could do it, but you know.
We've done it before.
True. True.
Baseman number 10, Nico Cicado.
Nico Cicado steps in. Going for the Clint Eastwood vibes, apparently, is Cicados. Just watched Kelly's Heroes with my dad again the other day.
Nice. Cicados, of course, the 2021 OUA MVP that year with the Toronto Varsity Blues before going out to WCBL last year.
Yeah, part of the embarrassment of riches that got brought in over this offseason for the Cardinals. They came from everywhere, south, east, west. Cicados hammers this one into left field. Johnston's on the move. It gets all the way back to the fence. Johnston's going to go first to third. Cicados up to second for the second time in the ballgame.
At this time, he gets the double. Johnston goes to third. Nobody away here in the Cardinals' third inning. Two in scoring position.
And here comes Yoki Pena.
Pena walked and scored in the second.
Well, Yorkie Pena.
Now we're going to have to pin down Pena and Luis before the home opener and get the pronunciation.
Oh, I know. It's going to drive both of us up the wall this week.
Yeah.
I'll try to, if I get here early tomorrow, I'll try to do that.
Because I've already heard 3 different pronunciations.
And now I'm going to have the wrong one in my head.
Now, we know the last name is Pena.
Yeah.
So we're halfway there.
We're halfway there.
But I've heard 3 different pronunciations of his first name. And I don't want to hear like I've heard with the import players in the OHL before, which is whatever you go with. No. How do you say it? That's what I need to know.
How is Mom and Dad going to not get mad at us for saying it?
That's exactly what it is.
And Grandma Jeannie, who's been at home watching for gosh knows where.
Yes. Oh, Pena slaps this one out into right center, and nice play by Simmons getting back on that. Both runners will tag. It'll be a sac fly RBI, and Cicados, he thought about coming around third. There's the ball squeezed out to the fence, but Andrew Johnston will score to make it 3-0. Pena hit that a mile, and there's some ballparks in the league where that's a 3-run home run.
Yeah, there is. Just not in this one, not in Welland, that's for sure. But your Kitchener's, your Chatham Kents. Well, Chatham Kents is probably off the fence still, but yeah, definitely Kitchener, definitely Toronto. You're probably scraping that 20-foot ball, that 20-footer now. So yeah.
So Toronto not a 3-run home run, but a RBI double at least.
Yeah.
2 RBI double.
Or if they put, as we used to call it, they put up that wall just for Salazzo and Castaldo, but now they're both not in the lineup, so maybe they'll take it down.
Does the conductor want a large wall here? Would it make him feel?
No, I hope not. He's sitting on 87 home runs. He's now the active leader in home runs in the league now. The Castaldo's on the inactive list, so you know, I'd love to see him get 13 this year.
I was just going to say, I would love to be on the call for him to hit 100. I got very lucky this year. I got to call Nick Lardis hit 50, 60, and 70.
Wow. And that was a great season.
Unbelievable. Tough ending for Nick with the knee injury in the OHL playoffs, but that young man's going to be in the Chicago Blackhawk lineup within a couple of years, and we're going to all say we remember him when, as Tanner Rempel took a look at that one. He thought it was outside, but a staring strikeout for the first baseman.
Rempel goes down on strikes for the second time in the contest, and Jaden Brown had a loud double off the Little Caesars sign out there. His last time, I believe, the batter now.
Brown got every bit of it. And that one's going to hop to the backstop, and Cacados, who has had an odd ball game to say the least when it comes to the base paths, is going to skip home.
Skip home for the second time, and it's now 4-0 for the Cardinals here in the third inning.
Reached on an error and scored.
Yep.
Doubles in this inning and scores on a wild pitch.
Yep.
And he's saying, hey, what do you want from me? I'm 1 for 1 with 2 runs scored.
Yep.
Give me a break. Henry delivering to Brown, who will foul that back. Brown had that scorcher in the second inning. I think he almost put through the fence.
Yep. The Hot and Ready almost had another spot in the pepperoni there.
The mascot almost didn't get through the pizza slow. It was pizza. Whoa.
Yep.
Two and two, the count to Brown. Daly, who had the odd strikeout earlier, is behind him as Brown sends this one deep into right center field. It's off the wall again. Brown to second.
He's going to ask for those fences to get pushed in a few feet.
Yeah, that's twice. If those fences are 10 feet in, he's got 2 home runs in this ball game, but it's another double for Jaden Brown.
Stepping up to the plate, the left fielder, number 97, Brendan Daly.
This is going to be a great problem for the Cardinals, but getting all of the talent in the lineup at the same time that's going to be available.
Yep. Chris Piano's just going to have to start putting him in a hat some nights and just, okay.
Chris Piano's somewhere laughing maniacally right now looking at all this.
So many options.
I think he went to Eric Spearn and said, I asked for a little depth. What did you do to me?
But is too much depth a bad thing? Come on.
No, never.
This is the IBL after all.
Yeah, we've seen that come to pass before. And as Brendan Daly swings through. 1-1 the count. I mean, it sounds great, but in the IBL, you're an injury or somebody having a change of job away from potentially losing a player.
Exactly.
You never know when you're going to need to be, the old college football too deep.
Yep.
You need it a little bit of everywhere. 1-2 the count. And that one was just outside as Jonathan Friedman's head was in my way. What's the boss doing there? What is going on around here? So, Brendan Daly for the second time in the ball game. A bit of a controversial strike. And that is going to do it for the Cardinals half of the third. But another 2-run score, Neil. And the Cardinals have built themselves a pretty solid lead in a 7-inning game.
That they have. And then anyways, we head out to the top of the fourth inning. Looks like Sanchez is going to go out there to start the inning anyways. These guys are still getting loose down there. Looks like Casey Howard is down the line, as is Caleb Swarovski now. I think he's making his way down there as well.
So, Neil, as we get set for the start of this season, The answers to this question, there is no wrong answer, and the answers are abundant. Who are you most looking forward to see suit up in a Cardinals uniform for the first time this year?
Well, if I don't say Jonathan Salazzo, I'm sure I'm going to get hear about that. So you know.
You know what? I got to. As excited as I am for Fernando Rodney, to see what we had openly talked about on the air before, to have Tyler Duncan and Jonathan Salazzo going back to back.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And it's just, you know, and it was so funny. Like, I had talked to Salazzo literally the night before the trade went down. And it was just like he didn't say anything at all. He was just like, I really haven't heard much of anything going on. And then 10 o'clock the next morning, it broke, and it's like he texted me back, I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. But my timing was impeccable. I'm just like, well, I just checking it on just because I hadn't seen it or anything, you know, because I hadn't heard much in Maple Leaf land, and it was just like, okay, boom. He's now a Cardinal.
Yeah, and
then his birthday's a couple of days before mine. I sent him a text message and said something that, you know, very heartfelt, and said, hey, I'd love to be here to watch us get the thing done.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to jinx it. But so, you know.
Yeah, no, it's and I got to believe that that's what Salazzo is coming here for.
Yeah. A lot of guys are coming here for that same thing. It's just, you know, I've watched this guy be here when he was with the Cardinals originally when they were the Thunderbirds and everything else. Watched him break in the league. I watched him sit with the Maple Leafs for 10 years and watched him have a great career in this league, and just to have him back in Hamilton now is a great thing.
Yeah, it's not like there's any question about can he still do it.
No.
Like we saw last year. How many times did we see him last year in this building just absolutely tear the cover off a baseball?
Yep.
And I believe that is Sanchez misses inside. I believe when we look back at it, that's actually what started us down that road of thinking at the time, well, Tyler Duncan needs a little bit of protection in the lineup.
Yep.
Boy, wouldn't it be fun if Jonathan Salazzo was, and then suddenly Eric, I don't know, did Eric, was he listening to us?
He might have been, but I think he always wanted to bring him back here too. So it's just like, you know, every time you can see in the interviews, even when his interviews with Troy and everything else, you can just see Salazzo calls this a second home.
Well, and I know that there was a bit of a chase too to get Salazzo back here. Eric Spearin made it a point that he wanted Jonathan Salazzo here, and that's exactly what he's done. As Ramon Sanchez will deliver, and that one outside. And we got the busiest man in baseball sitting in between us.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to jump over and take off the score sheet or not here, so counting down 2-2.
Well, you recovered that one quickly.
He's quick.
We are having far too much fun.
That makes my job easy.
A ball four and a walk to Brad Verhoeven.
Start the fourth inning.
Stepping up in the plate.
Now we know that Sanchez probably not going to go all that much further in this ball game, Neil, with Casey Breer-Howard definitely getting some work in today.
Yep. I'm sure Caleb Sorowski wants a little bit of inning, and some guy named Rodney was supposed to close this one out, but we'll see.
Well, that'd be fun. As Sanchez throws that one to the inside.
Well, I felt bad on Friday. He only got to throw 8 pitches. He got the strikeout, and the next guy hit the second pitch up in the air. And then Roop Chanderdad's son, Jagan, came up and hit the first pitch he saw. So, that was 8 pitches, and that was it. Over and done.
Well, with Fernando Rodney, I got to believe he's going to have a few outings like that.
Yeah.
Like this is a guy who was dominant in the majors for a long time. My brother's a big fan, as Rodney was part of the Nationals that won the World Series. As that ball on the ground, Vittini pops up and will hold the runners.
Did I just say that correctly in the theme nights? There's a Fernando Rodney hat flip night or something, or flip hat night or something like that.
Well, I'm going to have to get some details on that.
Yeah. A lot of theme nights, of course. The crew down here in Cardinal Land has definitely outdone themselves.
There's some lightsabers or something going on at some point here.
Yeah. Interstellar night? Well, it's not interstellar, intergalactic night or something there. So, we're not just catering to Star Wars fans this year. I guess we're also including the Trekkies too.
Hey, we can get intergalactic. That's all right.
So hopefully Disney and Paramount's lawyers don't come after us for that.
Now, look, at the last time I was involved in a Star Wars night, Troy Islikar said that I should have been dressed like Yoda. I am not doing that. That is not happening.
Please don't do that.
No. He just finds any way he can to make short jokes. It's unbelievable, that guy. 3-1 the count.
On Champ Gardner.
Gardner struck out back in the first inning. Sanchez checking over at first. Just trying to keep some runners honest.
Trying to keep the double play in order here.
Well, he's got an extremely athletic middle infield behind him between DeCastro and Brown if it's on the ground through the middle of the field. Yep. And that one is going to whiz on by.
It's going to go off.
Off the bat?
Calling it a strike. Okay.
Oh.
Gardner can't believe it.
Okay.
Go get my bat back up here, Mr. Umpire, and I'll go back to the plate. I thought it went off my arm, but umpire saw it differently.
We've had a couple of odd ones so far.
Yeah.
Remember, it's the preseason for everybody.
That it is.
As Sanchez delivers, Garner fights it off. Up the middle, DeCastro to second for one. That's all they'll be able to get, but stuck in a tough spot there was Brad Verhoeven. He couldn't advance in case that ball got caught, and then by the time it got down, Raquelbin DeCastro was all over it.
Yeah. Of course, you're taught it's a freezing a line drive with less than 2 away there, and that's exactly what Verhoeven had to do. So he froze, and unfortunately, when the ball came dropping down, it's just like, okay, well, now I'm on dead ducks going to second base, and it's an easy force-it. Gardner's on the fielder's choice. Putout goes 6-4 on Verhoeven.
And now Garner's on his way to second. Vittini up to throw. Whoa, again, very, very tight. Garner gets the stolen base, but Julie Vittini, he is right in that zone. That's the second time where that one was a little bit more inside to DeCastro. The first time he attempted to throw out at second, it was more of a lead, but he's right there.
He is, and of course the London Majors are not afraid to run in pretty much any situation, as you've seen it in all 3 exhibition games. And Gardner takes second base almost on a whim, like they got figured out Sanchez's delivery to the plate here.
Still playing with a bit of fire though, because Vittini has been just behind both times. A blink quicker, and he's got 2 outs throwing from behind the plate. Tristan Osika, good to see he was able to stay in the game after coming up kind of lame earlier at second base from making a play. Saw 3 majors go down early in this game, but luckily all 3 have been able to stay in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last thing you want to see in a preseason.
Well, exactly, especially with the weather not being the most ideal thing to be out here. It was supposed to be a high of 19 today. I'm just not sure where.
Yeah, I haven't felt that yet.
It feels like more like 10 or 11 max.
Tristan Osika looked a little bit upset there as he took the walk, slammed the bat down.
And that's going to be it for Sanchez.
Sanchez is going to come out of this ball game. Casey Boulier-Howard is going to step in.
Mr. Howard, no less. Teaches at, I can't remember which school he's at. I'm pretty sure he's in the Catholic board, though. So
I believe you're right. I think I remember that from last year.
We'll know in a couple minutes when they get a big hand here, and then when they announce him, I'm sure one of these little groups down here is probably going to go a little more louder than the rest of them.
Yep.
Entering the game for your Cardinals.
Here we go.
21, Casey Boulier.
There it is.
There it is.
They're over to our left.
I think we're going to have a guest between innings as well. As Eric Spear's going to make his way up here.
Okay. As Blair Howard will get set to go now. Last year they had quite the educational team with Stefan Strecker as well being a part of the ball club.
I was actually just working on something about Strecker for the league anyways, and it was like kind of interesting. Looking at reviewing his numbers and everything else, which is great. And then of course Casey Howard's up there as far as appearances as well. And he's got a few save records. 11 career saves now.
He should be right in there in terms of that bullpen for the Cardinals, that it could be extremely dynamic. He got options from both sides.
Yep.
And a whole lot of talent.
Personally, with this league playing predominantly on weekends as well, it's never a bad thing to have options, especially when you have 3 and 4 days.
Yep.
Or 3 and 5 too.
You got to have arms ready to go. Now, the other thing I want to find out is, does anyone have smaller font type on the back of their jersey?
I don't think so.
Now, the play that does get a hitter number 21.
But it's a custom font too, so that's probably why it is too. So it's like, yeah, you know.
As Mr. Howard on school day takes the mound.
Yes, he is.
We'll face Ricardo DeLugo, who had a bit of an excuse me single in the second inning. It was almost accidental.
Yep.
And Howard opening up with gas. Couldn't tempt DeLugo's eye that time. One and one the count is Casey Brunier Howard trying to keep the double play intact. It'll run it to 1-2. Although a strikeout here would be just as effective.
Adam Whitman sets up another ground ball and a force out at any base, the next batter up.
Yes. Yes.
The 1-2. Up the middle. Brown over to it, to second for one, to Castro. Not enough time back to first as DeLugo beat it out on the fielder's choice.
Good job by Osika to take the runway away there for Castro.
Stepping up to the plate, right fielder number 95, Charlie Bowman.
Fielder's choice going 4-6 that time, which is Brown returning the favor from earlier on in the inning from DeCastro.
Yep, Garner goes to third. Runners now at the corners with 2 away for Charlie Bowman.
And Bowman has a first pitch strike.
Seems to be favoring that leg a little bit. Definitely pulled something, either a cramp or a Charlie horse when he's running down the line on that double play his first time up.
Yeah, not enough to take him out of the ball game, but certainly enough to create some discomfort. Is this one a little blooper up over the shortstop? It'll roll into shallow left, and testing it back to second base was Daly, but an RBI single. Well, Charlie Bowman's feeling it a little bit. He didn't show it there.
Up to the plate, second baseman number 34.
Got himself an RBI single. And the goose egg has been broken. It's now 4-1 for the Cardinals over the Majors.
And that run will go on Sanchez.
That is correct.
So runners on first and second for Harrison.
Harrison struck out his first time up in the third.
Howard ran that one inside. 2-0. Toby Simmons, the leadoff man to turn the lineup over, is on deck. As Howard delivers, and that one shot into right center. And that's going to track all the way back to the wall. One scores. On his way around is Bowman. And it's 4-3.
And now suddenly a much closer ball game as the Majors have rallied here for 3 runs in the inning.
2 RBI double for Adrian Harrison.
Harrison making the most of his opportunities so far to put himself in the good graces of manager Roop Chanderday. As both DeLugo and Bowman will come home to score.
First pitch strike to Toby Simmons. Simmons has struck out twice in the ball game. That's just a really well-hit ball from Adrian Harrison.
That was.
And Casey Howard working ahead, 0-2. Howard with the check back on second. Delivers. Got him looking.
Simmons goes down looking for the 3rd time today, or second. 3 punch-outs in the game.
4 hits with 1 runner left on base, 0 errors committed by your
So the strikeout closes out the inning for Casey Boulier Howard. And we will head to the bottom of the inning when we return on Cable 14 with the Cardinals looking to take control back.
That is the energy I want to hear because it is time for a cheer off. So you all have to listen.
Set to go for the bottom of the 4th inning. Hamilton Cardinals holding a 4-3 lead over the London Majors here on Cable 14. And Neil, the Cardinals surrendered 3 in the top of the 4th inning. They'll look to turn that back around.
Definitely will have to do so. Jonathan Henry back out on the hill for the Majors here. Start the 4th inning and back to the top of the order for Castro, Duncan, and Bettini due up in the order.
And Caleb Sorosky is down in left field getting loose for the Cardinals as well. So now we see that expected pitching rotation coming through in this ball game for the Cardinals, and not a whole lot of options past Henry for the London Majors.
Well, I think they just only have the one person left on the roster card that hasn't been in the game so far. So
yeah, it's Lund.
He's down there by himself. He's the one is the loneliest number down there right now. Doesn't even have a catcher to work with right now.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Major, it's just a tough one today to get bodies here.
Yep.
As Henry will wind and deliver, and Castro fouls that one back, 2-2. Castro has a walk and a ground out the ball game. As you mentioned, Neil, he's got Tyler Duncan behind him, so this is where it's imperative. Get runners on for the big bats.
That it is.
Nice curveball there from Henry. Just didn't have enough break at the end to get back over the plate. And conversely, if you're the Majors, the last thing you want is Raquelbin DeCastro on the base path.
Yep.
DeCastro reaches out, sends that one into shallow right, falling quickly. Not quickly enough. Bowman underneath it, one away.
Bowman was able to get underneath that one and it just hung up in the air a little too long. So Castro was kind of hoping it would drop in a hurry, but the wind kept it up in the air, I guess, a little longer. The breeze is also going out to left field right now, so the wind worked against him. Going to bring up Duncan, though.
Duncan, who does have an RBI in the ball game. We joked a lot last year about him being the world's largest shortstop.
That was the world's largest center fielder.
Yeah, a guy that size, just the athleticism is ridiculous at that size.
Yep.
I don't understand it. That's not fair. It's not fair to the rest of us. Henry delivers outside. And Tyler Duncan, one of the biggest things for him, Neil, of course, is his leadership and his willingness to do anything for the team. That's what we heard last year. To fit all the pieces they wanted on the field. Yeah, I'll play shortstop.
Yep.
I'll play wherever you want me.
Not many guys would actually be willing to do that in most situations, but not Tyler Duncan.
Henry delivers outside. It looks like he may be working around the heavy hitter.
Pitching him very selectively.
Well, and that goes back to as this season gets underway, you're not going to have that option overly often as Duncan's going to have to walk. If he's got Jonathan Salazzo behind him,
Yep.
enjoy the opportunity while you can to pitch around Tyler Duncan, because if you put him on for the conductor, that's just asking for trouble.
Yep.
The catcher, number 11, Julie Vantini.
It'll be interesting to see when Brandon Nickel gets here as well, just how this lineup's going to, the top four in this lineup's going to sit out too.
Yeah, you may not have the option to pitch around Duncan if you've got Nickel ahead of him on.
Well, exactly. I think that was part of the struggles last year. Is we couldn't get guys on base, and when we did get guys on base, there wasn't enough guys behind to brash them in either. So now it's like, okay, we fixed that.
Yeah, I'll say. Bit of an off-season retooling from the Cardinals, and boy, have they found it. There's that one off the outside edge, and Jonathan Henry having a little bit of trouble finding that edge.
Well, it's hard for a pitcher to come back out there, especially after you came in the last inning and your team goes in there and put up the 3 spot, so you put up 8 batters in the inning. Throw him off a little bit off his rhythm here.
Duncan taking off. Bettini has that one fair. Duncan's on the run. He'll round third. He's going to have an opportunity to come home. He'll shed the helmet. Duncan on the charge. He'll beat the throw. Bettini slides back into second with the RBI double.
Umpire almost got taken off and taken out on the throw back up the middle there.
Julie Bettini put that on a rope down the left field foul line. Tyler Duncan held up briefly, Neil. He was already on the run.
Yep.
There was a hit and run in play there.
Hitter number 9.
Waiting to make sure, and Luis Bernardo was as emphatic as I've seen him, signaling go.
Yep. It's like, yeah, it's down the line. It's fair. Let's go.
Yeah, and that is all Tyler Duncan needed to hear. He shed the helmet and went flying.
It was a great throw home by Gardner. Almost got him on the money there, but Duncan was able to get it home in time.
Yeah, Duncan had the step coming in. And now with one away in the inning, Andrew Johnston will bat with Julie Bettini in scoring position. So the lead back to 2 for the Cardinals, and that ball is way out of here foul. Might be somebody walking a dog find that one. That is out into the trees somewhere.
Yep.
1-1 the count is Henry keeping a look back at Vittini on second. Missed outside. Vittini was peeking off second base a little bit, and he'll get back safely.
Yep. The book on DeOlio is he's not afraid to throw back picks anywhere on the base path anyways. As your base runner, you got to be very alert. DeOlio isn't afraid to throw it anywhere.
Nor should he be. He's got a great arm. Duncan standing in. Delivery comes in high. 3-1 the count. Pardon me, Johnston. Talking so much about Tyler Duncan. Henry fires. Johnston taps that one back. Count is full.
Johnston's got a strikeout and a walk, a run scored already in this contest. Would love to get aboard again here and set the table for Katakos.
And this is really the kind of at-bat that is very beneficial in the preseason deal where you're stepping in and there's another one fouled back. Johnston battling, learning in the IBL to battle in an at-bat, force the pitcher into deep water. And for a young player, that kind of work at the plate, it's great for experience and it's great for his teammates to see as well.
We got one very confused Siegel, not looking for a place to land, but can't find anybody because there's kids everywhere.
That's the first bird I've seen that low all day in here. He was very confused. Henry delivers, and that one's low, and Andrew Johnson's earned himself another walk.
Some good patience by Andrew Johnson on that pitch. And then
Now
bat.
to play the third baseman, number 10, Nico Kakatos.
Nico Kakatos reached on an error and has a double kneel. He scored both times that he's been up.
Yep.
Yeah, Kakatos got underneath that one. Fly into right field, and it's going to be two away. Vittini tags up. He's on the way to third. He'll slide, and Vittini's ruled out. Oh, that's a tough one to go against the Cardinals there with Vittini trying to slide ahead into second base or into third base. Don't think the ump had a great look at that one,
No,
Neil.
I don't think either, but it's hard to see from that angle too. So he's just going on from what he could see. Not sure if the ball was in the glove or not. So maybe that's what he was waiting for to see. As long as he had the ball in the glove, he was going to call him out.
Great throw, though, from Charlie Bowman, who tracked that ball in right to get it across the field to third. And the Cardinals will be back in the field, the top of the fifth, right after this, which I believe is a hot dog and pizza race down at the field on Cable 14.
Now, I need you to stay cheering all the time because it's time for our teacher race-off. We have the pizza and the hot dog. Look at them stretching over there. They're taking this very seriously. All right, everyone. Help me count down on our marks. Get set. Go! Let's go. Hot dog's in the lead. Hot dog has won. Let's go. Give it up. Our winner.
Now on the mound for your Cardinals, number 4, Caleb Sarosky.
What you were saying about Johnston, like battling and seeing a lot of pitches here, I think this season that'll probably be where you see the lineup greatest area of improvement compared to last year. Like we got a lot of good hitters, but like aside from Salazzo and Brown, we didn't get a ton better in the power department. It's more like old school money ball, like see pitches, wear guys down, pitch counts up, take walks, take close pitches. Like Ricky was swinging at everything last year. AJ too. They've had some unbelievable takes today. I think that's something you can expect
I think that's going to be key, especially in this ballpark, because even if they try to bring in more power, it's tough to hit it out of it. So if you can play that kind of money ball, get guys on base, get them moving.
Yeah, I think if we kind of emphasize seeing more pitches top to bottom, more big counts, it doesn't force the contact guys to do more than they can. Allows the power guys to stay in themselves, gives Duncan good protection.
That's going to be the key.
Yeah, I think if there's one difference from this year's offense and last year's, it's that. We'll see though.
Top of 5 coming up as Francisco Fajardo will step in.
Caleb Sorosky takes over on the hill for the Cardinals. I guess want to say homecoming, of course. It's his grandparents and everything else. His dad's a former NHL player that plays in this area, so.
Yeah, he comes from an extremely athletically gifted family. And Sorosky, in getting him, one of the big things, Neil, was that a lot of people thought he was an American, and he qualifies as a non-import.
He's got a dual citizenship, so that's a huge thing.
Okay, that's the second time that there's been an early pitch on Fajardo. I don't know if he's trying to throw off the batter or throw off the pitchers or what it is, but
something's definitely picked up somewhere.
So 1-1 is the count. Oh, that's a beautiful hook there. 1-2 is Sorosky. He brought that one inside from a different area code. Sorosky will wind and deliver and sped it up. Vittini underneath on the pop, one away. And guess who's getting loose? Down left field.
I can hear his warm-up music in my head, his walkout music in my head, probably because I was doing so many clips with it earlier this week, but yeah.
Now, do we have a sense on how many innings he's going to pitch?
As many as he wants to, pretty much. I'm sure there's been some discussion somewhere, but are you going to go ask for the baseball back?
No, not a chance. Once he's in, it's all his.
Yep.
As the ball sent out foul to open up the at-bat.
If he walks down there, I'm pretty sure you're giving him the baseball, and he's coming in at some point.
Yeah. I think that's just about a certainty.
Yeah.
As Diolio fouled that one out.
We'll have to have an interesting conversation with him after we ask for a pitcher and the obligatory things that you have to put in the old scrapbook.
Yeah, that's one of those things that a number of years in doing this kind of work in broadcasting, I try not to ask for that many autographs, but that's one that I'm going to need on a baseball.
Yeah, you definitely.
Somebody I believe, got the foul ball.
Ouch.
As being tended to down the right field foul line. Looks like everything's going to be okay there. Sorosky over the plate to make it 0-2.
It might be Corbin Peters down there, actually, and not our friend. We'll see. The hat's on a little too straight down there.
Oh, you're right. It is Corbin Peters. See, this is why you can't get too hyped up too early.
No.
Somebody said Rodney was looking at going today, and clearly I've been waiting for it. Sorosky will deliver. Got him on the outside edge.
Wow.
What a pitch. Caleb Sorosky. Oh, my.
Stepping up to the plate, third baseman, number 13.
Well, Neil, we know the Cardinals were excited about him, and
I can see why now.
yeah, it's not hard to figure that one out. I should say, as we see, you're right, Corbin Peters warming down in the pen. You're going to go from Sorosky, who's throwing smoke, to Corbin Peters, who, talk about guys who can bring it with a fastball. And with the changes for the Cardinals pitching staff, you wonder where Corbin Peters ends up, because if you can use him as a late game option coming out of the bullpen, that makes it even more dangerous.
He was on the screen momentarily there, but
There you see Corbin Peters getting the work in. Sorosky delivers. He knows it right away. High pop up. Tyler Duncan says mine.
And that's it.
And Caleb Sorosky, clean inning. That was pretty work.
That's pretty professional there. There you go.
And Neil, the young man who he's got the hockey flow going.
Yep.
And he put that inning away very tidy.
Very tidy. That's what I like to see. I'm sure Chris Piano says, you keep doing that every time you go out there, we'll talk often.
Absolutely. So the Cardinals in good shape. And I just saw, and it's great to see him down on the field in uniform there. Dean Castelli walking into the Cardinals dugout. You talk about having some seriously big-time Hamilton baseball guys downstairs.
Yep.
Castelli, Piano, and there's Fernando Rodney taking the walk.
He's taking his stroll.
So maybe one inning for Sorosky, one inning for Peters to come.
Yep.
And then we'll see the legend.
I'd be okay with that.
Now on the mound for London, number 36, Jared Lund.
Jared Lund is going to step onto the hill for the London Majors. And Neil, this brings us to an interesting spot in the ball game because that's it.
That's it. That's all that's in the cupboard. So, yeah, it's Jared Lund's game here. And the St. Thomas native getting another opportunity. He's pitched in both Friday and Sunday's contests here. So, yeah, he's out there.
Now, in the preseason, they could maneuver Lund off the hill for another position player.
Exactly, yeah.
But there's nobody else that's going to be able to come out. They've used everybody.
Yeah, they've used everybody. So, it's preseason. They can put somebody back in if they have to, if they have an injury or something like that. So they're not going to. But yeah, in a traditional game, you would not be able to do this.
Stepping up to the plate.
Here's just pretty much free substitution and just do what you got to do. Get some guys some reps, get some looks in different positions.
So as we tick towards the end of this ball game in the bottom of the fifth, which is weird to say because bottom of the fifth we're usually about halfway.
Yeah.
As Yoki Pena will take a look at a first pitch strike.
Jared Lund is going to jump into the role that Braden Farrington played very well for the majors and everything else. I think Lund's going to take over that role and be the guy that's going to eat up a lot of innings in the situations like a 7, 8, 9 inning ball game. Get called upon to prove his stuff.
Farrington was extremely tough against these Cardinals as Pena hit that on a dart off the dirt. Handled niftily over at second by Harrison, and it's one away.
Stepping up to the plate, the first baseman, number 44.
And that'll bring up Tanner Rempel, who's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts in the contest as Lund's going back to work here.
And Fernando Rodney is his hand's going to be sore from signing autographs, I think, down at the left field bleachers.
I don't think he's coming into the ball game because I think he's just sorry, coach, signed so many autographs. That's not a bad thing, though, especially on a day like this.
No, not at all. It's great to see with all the kids here, and especially young baseball fans who know the greatness of Fernando Rodney through his major league career. Imagine the excitement to be able to meet him and get an autograph.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. 1-1 the count for Rempel. And Rempel puts a charge into left field, but it's going to be right over to Garner. 2 away.
Map 7 for the second out of the inning, and Jaden Brown, who's hit the ball pretty hard all game so far, will be the batter now.
Feel a little for Rempel on that one. That's a well-hit ball that just happened to be right at Garner. If that's more so left center, he's
got a gap and probably got at least extra bases.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you're right, Jaden Brown has got to be the Cardinal I've come away the most impressed with thus far. Certainly of the newcomers.
Brown and Sorosky definitely been earning some points in my book today.
Just how hard Brown has hit the ball twice. And it may be a little generous on the outside edge there. Put Brown in a hole. Wind and deliver from Lund, and that off speed never came back. Corbin Peters has continued throwing, so I imagine the one inning is all we're going to see, Neil, out of Sorosky.
Yeah.
That's, as much as I want to see Corbin Peters, it's almost a little bit unfortunate because Sorosky on a roll, that's one of those, even you want a little more. I know it's early. We'll see plenty. As that one fouled away.
The good thing is we got another game tomorrow.
That's right. Back here again, same time, same channel. That's my Batman promo of the week.
Yep.
As Brown will send this one into center field. Simmons will settle under it. 3 away for the Cardinals. And Corbin Peters will look to get the 6th inning when we return with the Cardinals up 5-3 on Cable 14. On the home stretch, top of the 6th inning, Corbin Peters will step into the ballgame, Neil, for the Cardinals. First look at Corbin in the 2025 preseason for us.
He's one of those guys that, I've been watching for the last couple years and going, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop with him and see, okay, what kind of player he evolves into.
I think part of it has been he hasn't really had a consistent role as he's going to induce the pop-up on the first pitch to Champ Garner, and, that'll work.
I'm a big fan of his.
Yes.
Sam, it's just something I've always liked about him, even when I was with the Royals and everything else. It's just like, man, this guy can deal. If he ever figures it out, he's going to be one deadly guy. And you saw shades of that a couple years ago in that game in the playoffs where he just went absolutely dominated against Barrie.
And it's always felt like Corbin's been caught in between starter, reliever, and with injuries and other inefficiencies at times, he's had to switch multiple times during seasons.
Yep.
Sounds like this year, that role is going to be getting the ball into the hands of Fernando Rodney.
Yep.
And if you're going to be able to send Corbin Peters out there with Caleb Sorosky in the 6th or 6th, 7th, 8th, some combination, that's a pretty good setup.
Yep.
Peters over the plate that time to Osika. And delivering outside. 2-2. Peters from the 2-2. Osika taps it back up the middle. Raquelbin DeCastro hoists. Rempel, stretch. Oh my. Oh, he's done it again. Are you kidding me? It's the preseason, Tanner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Save some of that for where it really counts.
Oh, my goodness.
Now at the plate, designated hitter number 21.
That's probably why he hit the gym, so he could do that.
Oh. I said it earlier, Neil. We saw some of the most spectacular athletic plays from Tanner Rempel over at first base. It's like Inspector Gadget. He's about 4 feet longer than he looks. And that was another one. How he managed to hold the foot there to get that out before almost corkscrewing himself into the Bernie Arbor dirt. That's just magnificent. 0-1 on the count to DeLugo. Make it 0-2. They're not paying Corbin Peters by the hour, I'll tell you that.
Nope.
Peters winds and delivers. Oh, that is pretty.
Oh, wow.
What were you saying about his stuff, Neil?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night there. Goodness.
For your Cardinals as we head to the bottom of the sixth.
That's the Corbin Peters we like to see.
If that's the Corbin Peters the Cardinals are getting this year, that bullpen is going to be a downright weapon.
Stay for the end of the game, but your bus has arrived.
Cardinals will have the bats in their hands at least one more time. We'll keep it right here as Fernando Rodney is getting loose down in left field now. Neil, you've been around this league a long, long time.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that we would be sitting in a spot like this and a half an inning away from saying, here comes Fernando Rodney?
Not in my million dreams here as far as that stuff goes, because, it's just not something you write in the book and go, okay, yeah, it's going to happen. But, we're about to see it happen.
Yeah, coming into today, just being the first home preseason game, I didn't know if we'd see Rodney step in.
Especially after when he pitched on Friday, and it's just like, okay, I figured, we might see him maybe tomorrow against Welland, but no, it's Tuesday, and again, here he goes. He's on the screen right now.
Even for Andrew Johnston, I know they're teammates, and Andrew's used to seeing him at this point in the locker room and everything, but how cool is this that you're catching a bullpen for a guy who's got a World Series ring? Like, I am just blown away that Eric Spearin has been able to do this. We know from our conversations with Eric over time the work that he's put into this ball club, and he said multiple times the Hamilton Cardinals were the most overlooked sports property in this area. He was right. He's changed that, and now he's just taken it to a completely different level with the lineup he's assembling here.
Exactly.
And there has been a pitching change. It's Ricardo DeLugo that is
coming to pitch to the last inning here, which is not a bad spot for the majors. Jared Lund did a very tidy last inning for them.
Stepping up to the plate, the left fielder, number 97.
Yes, that's DeLugo out of the DH spot.
And again, it's preseason, so don't stress yourself out about rules and the regulations as far as this stuff goes. Nobody's suddenly losing a DH here, so don't worry.
Well, no, it's good timing, too, because DeLugo, who is just up, so they'd have to come all the way around in the top of 7. As Daly has the pop fly induced, although that one's tracking back deep in center field, and Simmons will have it away for the first out.
Another one of those baseballs that, hey, any other different ballpark, on any different day, who knows, that might have carried out a Kitchener for sure.
Yeah, we've seen it before on a Friday night where if there's enough of a breeze pushing that baseball. As Raquelbin DeCastro will step in. DeCastro has reached once in the ball game, and we'll put that on the ground. Over to short. drew away quickly.
At St. David, know your bus has arrived. Like I said before, you're more than welcome to stick around, but your bus has arrived.
So 6-3 goes the putout, and Tyler Duncan will have one more at bat in this one.
Tyler Duncan.
Almost as if the Cardinals players are saying, no, we want to see what's coming next.
Yeah. We want you guys to see it. So go tell your friends.
Now on the mound for a run.
And this was something that was stressed with Fernando Rodney coming here as well. This isn't some sort of a novelty play.
No.
This is Fernando Rodney is here to be right there with Davey Mendez is the best closer in the IBL.
Yep.
Duncan, hot shot, sends it out into right field.
It gets past the outfielder. Bowman trying to take the safety approach for it, but it took a weird spin on the grass, and Duncan gets an extra base on that one.
Third time Duncan's been aboard in the ball game. And Julie Vittini, who's been aboard twice himself and has an RBI, will step in. Got to be impressed with the way Julie Vittini's caught the game so far.
He's called a good game, and he's done a good job behind the plate, that's for sure. You got to remind yourself, he's only 20 years old.
Jeez. Oh, good Lord. Able to command a pitching staff that way at that age, that is something special. As Vittini sends that one out into left. Duncan will round. He'll charge home, and Duncan has scored for the second time in the ball game. Julie Vittini, another RBI.
Definitely impressive today.
Stepping up to the plate, designated hitter number 9, Andrew Johnston.
Andrew Johnston, who has one of the most interesting walk-up songs in all of baseball.
This is not what he comes out to with the Griffins, though. Unless I've been playing the wrong song all last fall.
We might have to get a clarification.
Yeah, I'm going to have to text him and say, hey, we playing the wrong walk-up for you? Or you just have not picked one here for the Cardinals, and this is what you got stuck with last year because you're a rookie.
Yeah, at first I thought maybe somebody was messing with him.
Yeah.
But then he was hitting well with it, so
Or maybe just stuck.
yeah. Don't fix it if it isn't broken. Johnston laid off of it, but a strike anyway. 1-1. Johnston's reached base twice today on walks.
If the trend continues, it's going to be a third time here.
And that is already noticeable with Johnston. It's the plate discipline that he's showing early on. And another one of the Cardinals players who, Neely's got himself into great shape.
Yep.
Well, like Tanner Rempel, looks like he could be playing linebacker down the mountain. And Johnston's going to ask for time here.
Looks like DeLuca was just taking a little too long on the mound, getting signs and everything else from Diolo here. So Johnston said, hey, enough's enough.
Yep, reset. Nobody's going to blame him for that one. DeLuca on the curve, and Johnston turns it right back through the infield. Johnston, 2 walks and a single in the ballgame.
Not bad for a guy that wasn't originally in the starting lineup.
That's right.
Now to plate the third baseman, number 10, Nico Kikatos.
Nico Kikatos, who has got a hold of the ball a couple of times. As the Cardinals look to bring in a little bit of insurance for Fernando Rodney. As Kikatos take a look at a first pitch strike from DeLugo. Kikatos on the ground to third. Right across, Sosika's got it at first, and that is going to do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-3 the score. And Neil, we are about to see something extremely special.
That we are.
Making his walk out of the left field bullpen for the Cardinals is the former World Series champion. Near 2 decades in the major leagues, Fernando Rodney is going to make the walk.
I got goosebumps.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
The hat, unmistakable.
Yep.
And you are seeing it as our cameraman, Brendan Niccolo, follows him onto the field. This is one of those surreal moments as a broadcaster.
Yeah, it's real.
Wow. Fernando Rodney to the hill for the first time at Bernie Arbor Stadium for the Hamilton Cardinals. And Julie Vittini
Now on the mound for your
making his way out to catch.
Number 56, Fernando
And just right away, Neil, you can see from his intention on the hill, he is going to be bringing everything he's got.
Yep.
Well traveled in the major leagues, a sought-after closer for many years. I mean, he is in that upper echelon of guys that have ever done it.
That he is, and it's going to be interesting to see him come out here and just do this on a regular basis for these Cardinals.
And the confidence level
Yep.
that this has to give you for the Cardinals. As you get a good look at him right there on screen, tossing to Julie Vittini. This is one of those special moments. It might be the preseason, but you've got a man with World Series experience stepping onto the hill.
That you do, and it's just, at age 48, he still wants to play baseball. He wants to give back to this game as much as he loves it so much. He wants to be a part of this. It's not just, okay, I'm going to come here, sign some autographs, and whatever else. He wants to be here. He wants to help this team win any way he can.
Now, originally the connection was made through Luis Bernardo, right?
Yep.
What a recruiter.
That he is.
1-0 the count as the ball dives on the inside on Bowman. Rodney winds and delivers. Bowman, hot shot, and Rempel brings it down one away. Quite the liner over to Tanner Rempel that the first baseman was able to handle.
Adrian Harrison.
Adrian Harrison will be the batter now. He doubled his last time up, got an RBI. Has a strikeout as well.
And this is, a moment for the batters where you kind of got to put it aside who you're up against.
You got to go out there and say, hey, I got a job to do here.
On the ground to third, Caquedos sets, fires, and that one Rempel not able to bring down.
And Harrison will take off to second base on the E5 on the throw. Caquedo's a little too much mustard on that baseball. Trying to unload it in a hurry when he realized he could have taken an extra step there and probably calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't look like I thought at first he was about to set his feet, but he kept moving forward to release that ball. And Fernando Rodney with one away has to deal with a man on second. Cardinals with the 6-3 lead. He's got a little bit of a cushion to work with.
Time run now on the on-deck circle.
Simmons sends that one back off short to Castro. Underneath it, whoa, heads up. Kelvin de Castro, well, he was going rear end over Tea Kettle. Makes the catch.
Simmons retired on the F6, 2 away.
Stepping up to the plate, shortstop number 6, Francisco Fajardo.
That ended up being a lot harder than it looked.
Definitely did.
And there's that wind we were talking about again, Neil. It's blowing straight out, and that just kept pushing DeCastro back. Fajardo had a thought about it and ended up shaking his head.
Rodney had like a kind of grin on his face on that one.
He just looks like he's having fun. Rodney gets him swinging through it. Bit of a deception to the delivery of Fernando Rodney as well. 1-1 to Fajardo. Rodney delivers, Fajardo, little bloop, and that one brought in by Brendan Daly, and there it is. Fernando Rodney fires the arrow. The Hamilton Cardinals, a 6-3 victory in this preseason contest.
Cardinals did what they had to do today, got the ball going here at home in front of a big crowd. He had some very vocal crowd, no less, and Fernando Rodney able to close the door here and fires the arrow up in a salute to his father.
Yeah, it is a beautiful tradition from Fernando Rodney that it is going to be a whole lot of fun, and there you see him.
Yep.
He's embracing every bit of this.
No question he is.
And when you've got a guy like Fernando Rodney, Neil, this isn't just great for the Cardinals, their fans. This is great for the IBL.
No question.
Because this plants a flag that this is a league that the highest end of players can come to and really get a whole lot out of it. The Hamilton Cardinals with a 6-3 victory. Your final thoughts on this one, Neil?
Cardinals came out, did what they had to do here, and they got the win they needed. They got after Friday and everything else. The score didn't look too good. Things didn't go too well on Friday, but they seemed to right the ship, and they turned the page today well, and they've got to prepare for this week because they go in one more exhibition game, and then next week it all starts counting.
That's right. We are closing in on that home opener, which is in this ballpark next Friday night. You'll want to be a part of that here at Bernie Arbor Stadium, if not with us on Cable 14. But Neil, we got one more to go tomorrow morning. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. as the Cardinals will get back to it at Bernie Arbor.
Yeah, they got the Welland Jackfish coming in up the road here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one tomorrow.
The Jackfish and the Cardinals, it's always fun when they square off. Of course, we saw that in the preseason last year as well. They'll renew acquaintances, but for now, from my broadcast partner, Neil Srivastava, our entire Cable 14 crew, I'm Reed Duffy. The Cardinals, with Fernando Rodney closing it out, take a 6-3 victory. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.